Sometimes the strongest feelings are never spoken out loud. They exist quietly, hidden behind ordinary conversations, small smiles, and thoughtful actions that most people never notice. A woman who secretly imagines a future with you rarely announces it. Instead, she slowly begins seeing you as someone who could become a permanent part of her life. Long before she says the words, "I love you," her heart has already started asking a different question: could this person still be beside me years from now? That question changes everything. She no longer looks at you as someone she enjoys talking to today. She begins wondering what tomorrow might look like with you in it. The first sign is that she naturally includes you when she talks about the future. At first, it's subtle. She might mention a place she'd love to visit one day. Then she smiles and says, "You'd probably enjoy it too." It seems like a casual comment. But emotionally, it means much more. Without realizing it, she's already placing you inside future moments. One afternoon she talks about trying a new restaurant when it finally opens. Another day she mentions a movie that hasn't even been released yet. Instead of saying, "I want to go," she says, "We should go." That one small word reveals something powerful. People rarely use that language with someone they see as temporary. Her mind has quietly started thinking in terms of partnership. The second sign is that she becomes interested in your long-term goals. At the beginning of most conversations, people ask simple questions. What do you do? Where are you from? But when someone begins imagining a future together, the questions become deeper. What kind of life do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your biggest dreams? She isn't asking because she's curious. She's comparing your future with the future she secretly hopes to build. If your dreams align with hers, she feels hopeful. If your values match hers, she becomes emotionally excited. She's trying to understand whether your paths could eventually become one. You may think it's just conversation. To her, it's quiet planning. The third sign is that she remembers details that most people forget. You casually mention wanting to start your own business one day. Weeks later, she asks how those plans are going. You tell her your favorite place to relax. Months later, she remembers. You once said you always wanted to learn another language. She brings it up again without you reminding her. These aren't random memories. Emotion creates attention. Attention creates memory. The people we imagine in our future naturally become easier to remember. Every little detail feels important because it helps her understand the person you really are. The more she knows about you, the easier it becomes to imagine sharing a life with you. The fourth sign is that she cares about your well-being even when it doesn't directly affect her. She notices when you sound tired. She asks whether you've eaten. She reminds you not to work too hard. She hopes your meeting goes well. She remembers an important event you mentioned days earlier. These actions aren't about control. They're about care. When someone secretly imagines a future with you, your happiness slowly becomes connected to theirs. If you're excited, she feels happy. If you're stressed, she quietly worries. Without even realizing it, she's emotionally investing in your everyday life. That's something people rarely do for someone they see as temporary. The fifth sign is that she starts sharing more of herself than she usually does. Trust doesn't appear overnight. It grows little by little. One evening she tells you about her childhood. Another day she shares one of her biggest fears. Later she admits something she's never told many people before. Every personal story she shares is another brick in the bridge she's building toward emotional closeness. She's slowly inviting you into parts of her life that few people ever get to see. She wants to know how you'll respond. Will you judge her? Will you dismiss her feelings? Or will you accept every part of who she is? Acceptance creates safety. Safety creates trust. Trust allows love to grow. As her emotional connection becomes stronger, she also begins imagining simple moments together. Not grand romantic gestures. Ordinary life. Cooking dinner together. Watching movies on a rainy evening. Shopping for groceries. Laughing over something completely meaningless. These quiet moments become surprisingly beautiful inside her imagination. Because lasting love isn't built only on exciting adventures. It's built on ordinary days shared with the right person. She doesn't dream about perfection. She dreams about peace. Another interesting thing begins happening. Whenever she makes an important decision, your opinion starts becoming valuable. She may ask what you think before buying something important. She asks your advice before making a difficult choice. Not because she can't decide alone. Because your perspective matters. Your opinion carries emotional weight. When someone becomes part of your imagined future, their thoughts naturally become more important. She begins wondering how certain decisions might affect both of you. Without realizing it, she's already practicing partnership. One of the most beautiful signs appears when she starts celebrating your success as though it were her own. You achieve something important. She becomes genuinely excited. You receive good news. She smiles proudly. You accomplish one of your goals. She tells other people how happy she is for you. There's no jealousy, no competition, only sincere happiness. Why? Because in her heart, your victories already feel connected to her future happiness. Healthy love naturally celebrates another person's growth. Another subtle sign is that she pays attention to how you treat the people closest to you. She notices your relationship with your family, your friends, the people who have known you for years. She's asking herself a silent question. If he treats the important people in his life with kindness and respect, will he one day treat me the same way? Character matters. Kindness matters. Consistency matters. She isn't simply falling for your personality. She's evaluating the life you could build together. Sometimes she'll quietly observe how you react during stressful situations. Plans suddenly change. Something unexpected happens. Life becomes difficult. Do you remain respectful? Do you communicate calmly? Or do you lose control? She's imagining future challenges. Every relationship faces difficult moments. She wants to know whether your relationship could survive those moments with trust instead of fear. Without realizing it, every ordinary day becomes another piece of evidence helping her answer the biggest question inside her heart. Could this person become my forever? Sometimes she begins noticing things that even you don't notice about yourself. She remembers the way your face lights up when you talk about something you're passionate about. She notices the small pause before you answer a difficult question. She recognizes when you're pretending to be fine, even though something is clearly bothering you. These observations don't happen because she's trying to analyze you. They happen because emotionally invested people naturally pay closer attention. The more someone matters, the more carefully we observe them. Another sign is that she starts imagining how your lives could fit together. She wonders whether your personalities complement each other. She thinks about whether your values match. She quietly compares your dreams with her own. If she wants children one day, she wonders whether you do too. If she dreams of living in a peaceful place, she wonders whether you'd enjoy the same lifestyle. These thoughts aren't planned. They appear naturally because her emotions are beginning to look beyond today. She isn't asking herself whether she enjoys talking to you anymore. She's asking whether she could imagine building a life beside you. Another beautiful sign appears when she begins supporting your growth instead of only enjoying your attention. She encourages you before an important interview. She believes in your abilities when you doubt yourself. She reminds you of your strengths during difficult moments. Real love doesn't only seek affection. It wants the other person to become the best version of themselves. She isn't trying to change who you are. She's simply hoping you become everything you're capable of becoming. When someone secretly imagines a future with you, your success feels like part of her own future. One day she may notice that you're unusually quiet. Most people won't think twice. She will. Instead of ignoring it, she asks, "Is everything okay?" Sometimes you answer. Sometimes you simply smile and say you're fine. Even then, she continues thinking about you after the conversation ends. She hopes whatever is troubling you becomes easier. That quiet concern is difficult to fake. It grows naturally from emotional attachment. Another sign is that she begins introducing you, even indirectly, into conversations with people she trusts. She might mention something funny you said. She tells a close friend about one of your achievements. She shares a story about a conversation you had. She isn't doing it to impress anyone. She simply enjoys talking about someone who has become emotionally important. People naturally speak about those who occupy their thoughts. The more frequently she mentions you, the more space you've quietly taken inside her heart. Another interesting change happens in the way she handles disagreements. Instead of walking away immediately, she wants to solve the misunderstanding. She asks questions instead of making assumptions. She listens before reacting. Why? Because people don't usually fight to protect temporary connections. They protect relationships they hope will last. Her willingness to communicate instead of giving up reveals how much she values the connection. Sometimes she'll even apologize first. Not because she's always wrong. Because losing the relationship matters more than winning a small argument. That emotional maturity often appears when someone is thinking long-term. She also becomes interested in the people who matter most to you. She asks about your family, your childhood, your closest friends. She wants to understand where you came from because she's trying to understand the person you've become. Our past shapes our future. She knows that. The more she understands your story, the easier it becomes to imagine becoming part of the chapters that haven't been written yet. As weeks turn into months, another quiet habit appears. She starts saving little memories. Maybe it's a screenshot of a funny conversation, a photo you shared, a voice message that made her smile, a song that reminds her of you. These moments may seem small. To her, they're pieces of an emotional story she's quietly collecting. Without realizing it, she's creating memories before the relationship even has a name. Another sign is that she becomes protective of the connection. She avoids saying things that might unnecessarily hurt you. She thinks before speaking. She tries to understand your perspective. She values honesty, but she also values kindness. She's beginning to treat the relationship as something worth protecting. That doesn't mean she'll never disagree. It means she wants disagreements to strengthen the relationship instead of breaking it. Perhaps the strongest sign of all is that she begins imagining ordinary happiness with you. Many people dream about dramatic romance. She dreams about simple mornings, sharing breakfast, laughing over coffee, driving somewhere with music playing quietly in the background, celebrating birthdays, supporting each other through difficult years, growing older together. These ordinary dreams reveal extraordinary feelings. Because lasting love is rarely built on constant excitement. It's built on comfort, trust, friendship, and the quiet confidence that someone will still choose you tomorrow. There are moments when she catches herself smiling after reading an old message from you. She remembers one conversation for days. She laughs alone because one of your jokes suddenly comes back into her mind. She doesn't plan these moments. They simply happen because you've become emotionally important. The more often this happens, the more naturally her heart begins imagining a future where those moments never have to end. Eventually, she stops thinking only about who you are today. She begins wondering who you could become together. She imagines celebrating your achievements, supporting each other through failures, facing life's challenges as a team instead of alone. That shift changes everything. The relationship is no longer based only on attraction. It's based on partnership. And partnership is what creates lasting love. The truth is, people rarely imagine a future with someone they don't deeply care about. Those thoughts require emotional investment, hope, trust, and a quiet belief that something meaningful could grow. She may never tell you these thoughts directly. She may never admit how often she imagines tomorrow with you in it. Instead, her actions quietly reveal the truth. She remembers your dreams. She supports your goals. She celebrates your victories. She worries when you're struggling. She includes you in future conversations. She values your opinion. She protects the connection. She chooses understanding over pride. All of these small behaviors point toward one beautiful reality. Long before she says, "I want a future with you," her heart has already started building one. Love rarely begins with grand declarations. It begins with small choices repeated every day. A remembered detail. A thoughtful question, a kind message, a patient conversation, a sincere smile. Over time, those little moments become something much bigger. Trust becomes comfort. Comfort becomes emotional attachment. Emotional attachment becomes love. And one day, without even realizing when it happened, she no longer imagines a future with you. She simply can't imagine one without you.